Hey, sixth grade. This is lesson 10, day 5, and we have a couple problems we're going to be doing together. Make sure your math book is on page 110, 111, and let's get ready to start. So, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go over this example with you, and then we're going to have you try some problems. So, in this problem, read it along with me. You do not have to write anything for the example, but I do want you to pay attention. It says the greatest skateboarding speed record is 78.37 miles per hour by Roger Hickey in 1990. Now keep in mind what that means. Miles per hour means this is how far he goes. That's how many miles he goes in 1 hour. Okay? If he could keep up that speed for 15 minutes or 0.25 hour, how far could he go? All right, so now here is what we're going to do. So the first thing says, look at how you can use estimation to place the decimal point. So this is what they're saying. They're saying 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour, and 78.37 rounds up to 80. So I can expect my answer to be about 1/4 of 80 or 20. So remember, they just said this rounds to 80. 0.25 means 1/4. 1/4 of 80 is 20. So your answer is going to be about 20. Now, the next thing they did is they solved. This is a multiplication problem because if you know this is how far he goes in 1 hour, and you have to figure out how far he goes in 1/4 of an hour, you just multiply those two numbers together. Now, when they solved it, they chose the traditional method. You can also do lattice. You would need a 4 by a 3 or a 4 by a 2 if you ignore the 0. So remember, I don't care if you use lattice or traditional, just do what works for you. So they solved it, and they got their answer. Now here's the cool thing about placing your decimal. If you don't know how to figure out where your decimal goes, and you just get these digits, 195925, but you know your answer is about 20. There's only one place you can put your decimal point and have your answer be about 20, and that is right there. So estimation can be very useful. So your answer is 19.5925 miles, which is about 20 miles. All right, so now what you are going to do first is you are going to try 24 on your own. So pause the video, do 24, and then when you're done, you're going to restart it. Now remember, I want you to focus. Is it multiplication or division? Second, can you estimate to figure out what your answer is close to? If you can't figure out the estimate, then don't do it. But if you can estimate it quickly, it can help you decide if your answer is reasonable. As soon as you're done with 24, start the video and go over it with me. If you get stuck and you can't figure it out, as long as you tried it, you can play the video to do the problem with me. All right, pause the video, give 24 a shot, go. Okay, let's see how you did. So in number 24, it says, by the age of 21, the best violinist and pianist will have practiced at least 10,000 hours. If you practice an instrument for 45 minutes, or 0.75 hours, so that's 3/4 of an hour, a day for 365.25 days, the length of a year, how many hours will you have practiced? Okay, so as I solve this, I know if you practice for 0.75 hours a day and you're doing it for 365.25 days, you're going to be multiplying to figure out how many hours you've practiced. So this is a multiplication problem. Now I'm going to estimate this real quick. So if I know 0.75 is 3/4, 3/4, and 365, let's say I round that to 400. 3/4 of 400 would give me an estimate of about 300. So I know my answer is going to be close to 300. All right, so now let's solve this sucker. So let's start by doing 365.25 times 0.75. Now I'm going to do lattice for this one because there's a lot of digits going on here. So let me pause the video and get the lattice set up real quick. Okay, so I have my 5x2 lattice ready to go. So let me start. I'm going to do my multiplication. I'm going to multiply 7 by everything. So that's 35, 14, 35, 42, and 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to multiply 5 times everything. So I have 25, 10, 25, 30, and 15. So if you did lattice, see if you're still in it. If you didn't do lattice, just wait till this next step when I add. All right, so now I'm going to switch to blue. Let me do some adding. I get 5, 7, 13. So I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 4, 5. What's that mark there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 2. All right, so my digits are 2, 7, 3, 9, 3, 7, 5. Now remember, we have to place our decimal, so there's a couple ways you can do it. One is, if our estimate was 300, you know our decimal has to be there because 273 is close to 300. 2, I could do, since I'm doing lattice, I can do the thing where the decimals make an L. So check this out. So remember, one decimal's here, the other decimal's up there. So they just go down, form an L, and the elbow of the L points where the decimal's going to go. So it's going to be between the 3 and the 9. Lastly, you can just count the decimal digits. So let me get rid of that for a second. Remember, the original problem, if I look at it here, there were 2 decimal digits in 365.25 and 2 decimal digits in 0.75. That's 4 total decimal digits, so my answer needs to also have 4 total decimal digits. So that's a third way you can figure out where your decimal goes. Now, last, we need a label. How many hours will you have practiced? So your answer's label is hours. So how'd you do in that one? Did you get it right? If not, did you fix your mistake? I hope so. Next page. Now, next one you're going to try is you're going to try 25. If you are stuck, yes, you can watch the video and do it with the video, but I'd like you to try it first if you can. All right, pause the video, restart it when you're done. Go. All right, let's see how you did. It says, when the Dixon family traded in their old car, it had 53,790 miles on it. They had the car for 8.25 years. On average, how many miles did they drive per year? Now, because they are giving us the miles for 8.25 years, and we're going back to 1 year, how many miles did they drive per 1 year? That means we're dividing. We have to divide the miles by the years. So, the other thing is, if you know this is a ratio, if you have 53,790 miles per 8.75 years, you have to find the rate. How many miles do they drive per year? And we know we divide the top by the bottom number to do that. So to set this up, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to estimate. So I'm going to say this is about 9. You could say it's 8 or 9. It doesn't really matter. Because remember, we're just getting close. And 53,000, something close to 53,000, that divides by 9 would be 54,000. So if I did 54,000 divided by 9, I know 54 divided by 9 is 6. Add the 3 zeros. So my estimate is going to be about 6,000. All right, so remember that. Now, let me go back here. I'm going to write down my estimate up here. The squiggly equal sign means about. Now, the next thing I need to do is, since my divisor has 2 decimal digits, I need to fix that. So remember, think of it like a fraction. If I multiply the bottom by 100 and the top by 100, it will stay equivalent. And the bottom number will become 875. The top number, I'll have to add 2 zeros. So I have 5379000 become 5,379,000 divided by 875. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be an ugly division problem. Just saying. All right, so let me get this set up. 5,379,000 divided by 875. Ooh, this is what calculators are made for, but we're not using calculators. We're going to accept this challenge. All right, so I'm going to set up a little bit of a counting by 875 list here, just because this problem is nasty here. So I'm going to start one off here, 875. Let's just do, instead of adding, I'm going to multiply. 875 times 1 is 875. 875 times 2, that's 10. 5 is 1750. You know what? I do think I'd rather add. This isn't any fun. So let me start my list over here. I have 875, 1750. I'm just going to keep adding 875. It's 5, 12, 16, 2. So I have 26, 25. It's not much better than multiplying. So plus 875. It's 10, 10, 15, 3. I'm at 3,500. I'm going to keep going a little bit. This is really not fun. I need another one. Let me do 875 times 5. I'm sick of adding. 25. 35 plus 2 was 37. 43. So I'm up to 4375. Okay, let me do another one. Oh my gosh, this is awful. Let's see. 4375 plus 875. That's 10, 15, 12, 5, 52, 50. All right, and that's enough to get started. Okay, let's hope I didn't mess that up because this whole problem will be wrong. So 875 will go in 6 times to 5250. I'm going to subtract. I get 129. Bring down this 0 right here, which gets me 1290. Okay, next thing. Let me switch colors here. 875 goes into that 1 time, which is 875. I'm going to subtract. I get 415. Bring down that 0. So I have 4,150. Next, it's going to go in 4 times. Let me switch to pink here, which is 3,500. Going to subtract. Get 650. Bring down that 0. Now, I have to add on, my list doesn't go high enough for that one, so let me add on one more 875 over here. It's 5, 12, 11, 61, 25. So I have 61, 25. All right. Let me switch to back to black here. 875 goes into that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, which is 61, 25. Subtract. Get 375. All right, so at this point, we'll stop it up there, and because there's no more zeros to bring down, and we're just going to make it a mixed number. So take the remainder, 375, and we use the 875 as our denominator. And that is going to be our answer where we stop, so we just don't keep going on and on and on forever in this problem. And I know my answer is reasonable because it's about 6,000. All right. Let's just round it to 6,147. All right, last one here. You are going to try 26. Do not do this part down here yet. Give it your best shot. Pause the video. Restart it when you're done. Go. Okay, let's see how you did. It says in 1970, a record 1.5 inches of rain fell in 1 minute at Base Terra, Guadalupe in the Caribbean. At this rate, how much rain fell in 3 seconds, or 5/100ths of a minute? Circle the correct letter. Circle the letter of the correct answer. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply those two numbers together. So I'm going to do this one traditional way here. So remember, if I'm doing 1.5 times 0.05, pretend you're doing 15 times 5. And when I do 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Now I just need to make sure I have the right number of decimal digits. So my answer has 3 decimal digits. For me to have 3 decimal digits, I have to add on a 0 here. And now I can have 3 decimal digits. So the correct answer is B, 0.75 inch. All right. Now, we're not going to do this part today. So guess what? That means you're done. As always, thanks for watching.